Dear friends, welcome in this video. Today we will discuss one of the most important feature of life, most striking feature of the life, and that is cell. We would discuss some basic aspects of the cell, like the definition of the cell, some discoveries related with the cell, cell size, cell shape, types of cell, and difference between the plant cell and animal cell. First of all, let's see what is a cell. How can we define a cell? Structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the fundamental unit of life. It is structural unit because all the organisms are made up of cell. Each and every living organism is made up of a cell. That's why it is the structural unit of the life. It is functional unit of the life because whatever we do, whatever organisms do, at the basic level, it is done by the cell. Cell carries all our activities at basic level, and therefore it is said cell is the functional unit of life. It is the smallest living unit which designs the body of any organism. Any organism, it is made up of a cell. So whatever the organism is, it may be a single celled organism, or it may be a giant banyan tree like our Calcutta tree, or it may be a whale, blue whale, largest living organism. Anything that is made up of cell, that is designed by the cell. Cell is the difference between the living and non-living. We know cell is the living entity. The cell defines living organism, cell defines life. It is the main difference between the living and non-living, because non-living matter is also made up of the molecules, but the molecules are not organized into cell. Non-living entities, that is just a heap of molecules. Molecules add with molecules and they form a heap, but they are not organized in a way the cell is organized. So cell is the difference between living and non-living. The molecules like proteins, carbohydrates, the DNA, RNA, all those structures are well organized and they are forming a cell, and therefore it is said cell is the difference between the living and non-living. In non-living, the molecules are just organized and they are not very well they are not forming any entity larger than the organisms, larger than the molecules. The unicellular organisms are composed of a single cell. Multicellular organisms are made up of many cells, and in unicellular organisms, single cell performs all the functions which are needed for the life. In multicellular, the cells organize into tissues, tissue systems, organ systems, and lastly organism. So that is the basic difference. In unicellular organism, single cell performs all the functions. In multicellular, the cell forms groups like tissues and tissue systems, and it performs the functions. Now come to the discovery of the cell, some milestones only. Robert Hooke, he is the first scientist who commented about the cell. He gave the name cell. Actually, what was observed by Robert Hooke were just the cork pieces, and they were the dead cell walls of the cork pieces. He called them as cellula. He published his work in Micrographia. We know Robert Hooke is very well known for his microscope. He has designed some microscopes in earlier days, and while designing his microscope, he observed some cork pieces and he called them as cellula. So in 1665, the discovery of the cell started with Robert Hooke's work. Then Anton von Leeuwenhoek, again Anton von Leeuwenhoek is also famous for his microscope. He has designed some microscope. He observed the living cell for the first time. So first instance of a living cell, whatever observed by Robert Hooke were just the cell walls, dead cell walls. But for the first time, something living was observed by Leeuwenhoek, he observed some bacteria, he studied RBCs, and he published his work in 1674. Then Robert Brown for the first time studied the nucleus of the cell in 1831. Matthias Claydon in 1838. He is a German botanist. He studied plant cells in detail. Theodore Swan, a British zoologist, studied some animal cells in 1839. Both of them later on published the cell theory. Purkinje in 1839 used the term protoplasm for the first time. Rudolf Virchow in 1855 studied the cell division, and for the first time he stated that the new cells always arise from the pre-existing cells. So these are some of the landmarks in the cell theory. Later on, after discovery of the electron microscope, a lot of work was done about the cell. Now coming to the cell theory, whatever the work was done by Claydon, he observed plant cells, Swan observed the animal cells. One day both of them were having dinner together and they started discussing their research, and at that time they come to know that both of them were working in the same direction, and therefore they uh, developed the cell theory by combining their work together. So the cell theory for the first time was designed by these two scientists, Claydon and Swan, but their cell theory was not explaining how the new cells are formed, how the cells origin, and for that Virchow's work has to be studied. So when Virchow told in 1855 that new cells are formed from the pre-existing cell, so that work was also added in the cell theory, and now we study the cell theory in its modern form, which is the cohesion of the work of these three scientists, Matthias Claydon, Theodor Swan, and Rudolf Virchow. And the new cell theory states that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Why it is so, we have discussed earlier. All living organisms are composed of cells and their products. So whatever present in the body of any living organism, it is either cell or cell products. All new cells arise from the pre-existing cells and as a result of cell division. All cells are basically alike in chemical composition and metabolic processes. The function done by an organism as a whole is basically done by the cells present in that organism. So this is the cell theory. Now come to the cell types. Basically the cell is of two types, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. These are the differences between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. The most important difference is the nucleus. A very well defined nucleus is present in the eukaryotic cell, which is absent in the prokaryotic cell. Well defined nucleus means a nucleus with nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, nucleoli, one or two, and many linear chromosomes. In prokaryotic cells, instead of such a well defined nucleus, only a single circular naked DNA is present. The DNA is single, it is circular, and it is naked. The DNAs in the eukaryotic cells, they are bound with the histone proteins, they form the chromatin material or chromosomes. They are linear DNA and they are more than two, at least two or more than two. Another difference is the cell organelles. Membrane bound cell organelles are present in eukaryotic cells, they are absent in prokaryotic cell. Membrane bound cell organelles means the cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondria, lysosomes, plastids. All these are the membrane bound cell organelles. They are present in the prokaryotic cell, they are present in the eukaryotic cell, and they are absent in the prokaryotic cell. Ribosomes are present in both types of cells, but the ribosomes which are present in the prokaryotic cell are 70S ribosomes, and the ribosomes which are present in eukaryotic cell, they are 80S ribosomes. Again, there is difference in the size. The prokaryotic cells are 1 to 10 microns. The eukaryotic cells range from 10 to 100. Some cells are smaller than 10 microns. So the range might be told from 5 to 100 microns or micrometers. The organisms which are built up of or designed with prokaryotic cells are the bacteria, cyanobacteria and archaebacteria. The organisms which are with eukaryotic cells are all higher plants, animals and fungi also. If we see the kingdom, only Monera is the kingdom with prokaryotic cell, and in eukaryotic cell you can find Protista, Plantae, fungi and Animalia also. 4 out of the 5 kingdom they are from prokaryotic cell. This is a bacterial cell and it shows a single circular naked DNA. You can see a DNA here. This is the single circular naked DNA. Then these are the ribosomes, polysomes. There are many together, single ribosome. Then this is the cell wall and the material which is present inside it. You don't see any endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosome or plastid, chloroplast, etc. in this prokaryotic cell. This is a eukaryotic cell where you can see this is the well-defined nucleus. Around this nucleus, the granular endoplasmic reticulum is present. Here is the chloroplast. Here it is the mitochondria and large vacuole is also present. So membrane-bound cell organelles are present here, which are absent in the prokaryotic cell. One difference is nucleus, another is membrane-bound cell organelles. One more difference is of the ribosomes, 70S and 80S ribosomes. Coming to the cell shapes, in prokaryotic cells we know bacteria are of different shapes. The cocci bacteria are spherical, bacilli are rod-shaped, spirili are spiral bacteria, and Vibrio is comma-shaped. But there is limited variation in the shape of these prokaryotic cells. In the shape of eukaryotic cells, you see a tremendous variety of the eukaryotic cells. Even in single human body also we know RBCs are different, WBCs are different, the nerve cells are different, muscle cells are different, epithelial cells are different. So everywhere we see variety of eukaryotic cells. In other organisms, some amoeba-like organisms are not having a fixed shape. They can cell. Even our WBCs also change shape. They are called as amoeboid cells. They are not having a fixed cell. In human, muscle cells, spindle cells, all they are elongated. RBCs are oval. Nerve cells are the longest cells in human body, and like that. Coming to the cell size, the smallest cell is present in the mycoplasma. Its size ranges from 0.1 to 0.5 microns. Most commonly, 0.3 micron is the size of mycoplasma cells. Prokaryotic cells are generally 1 to 10 microns. Eukaryotic cells range from 5 to 100 microns. In human body, RBCs are the smallest cells. Acetabularia is a unicellular alga and it is the largest unicellular organism. Unicellular organism, largest unicellular organism. The largest cell in any type of organism is the ostrich cell. It is 15 centimeter long, 13 centimeter wide, and it is considered as the largest cell. Now coming to the difference between the plant cells and the animal cells. We know these are the two kingdoms. When five kingdom system was not in existence, we believed on the two kingdom system. One kingdom includes plants and another animals. So basically they were formed on the basis of the cells. There are a lot of differences in the plant cell and the animal cell. The first difference is cell wall. We know animal cells don't have the cell wall. Plant cells have a cell wall, and that is made up of cellulose. Plastids is another difference. Plastids like the chloroplast, chromoplast, etc. These are the cell organelles with pigments related with the photosynthesis. They are present in the plant cell, they are absent in the animal cell. Vacuole is again a difference. A large and conspicuous vacuole is present in the plant cell. In animal cells, such a large vacuole is absent. Sometimes smaller vacuoles may be present, few more than one, but they are not conspicuous, they are not very large. Size of the cells is generally differing slightly. The plant cells are generally larger than animal cells and animal cells are slightly smaller. Lysosome is again a difference. Less or no lysosomes are present in the plant cells, but in animal cells generally the lysosomes are more in number. Centrosome is again a difference. Centrosome and centrioles are present in the animal cells, they are absent in the plant cell. This is a plant cell with a large vacuole. This is a large vacuole. Then chloroplast are present here. There are the green pigments. Chromoplast are also present. Cell wall, the big cell wall is present, and we know this is the cell wall which is present with the plants, and that's why the plants don't need to build their houses or they don't need to take shelter, because this chloroplast, this cell wall gives them a lot of protection. This is the animal cell. Here you don't see a large vacuole. Instead of the small vacuoles might be present here, the centrioles are present. Centrioles are not present in the plant cell, so here centrioles are present. Lysosomes, many lysosomes are present in animal cells, and here the outermost membrane is the plasma membrane. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. So dear friends, today we would stop here. This is a little bit what we discussed about the cell today. Cell is the basic unit of life, and it is one of the most important fundamental structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the smallest living entity. Cell is of two types basically, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. We have discussed about the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. We have discussed some aspects related with the cell shape, cell size. Then we have discussed about the plant cell and animal cell. I think this is sufficient for today. Thank you very much.